And we are back.
Hey guys, good afternoon. We are back for episode 9, season 2 of the WRW Watches podcast. And yeah, that's us back. We're back now. It's been a couple of weeks since the last podcast.
Yeah, it feels like it's been ages, but actually it was 11 days ago today we made our upload. So actually it wasn't that long.
It's a week and a half, so it'll be a couple of weeks by the time this comes out. But we've done a couple of golf vlogs in there. It'd be interesting to know if you guys are enjoying the golf vlogs or if you think they're a lot of shite or yeah, whatever. It'd be good to know that because they do a few more of them now coming into the summertime. So
we've got a few in the pipe work as well. We've got a competition potentially.
Pipeline.
2v2.
The pipeline.
Yeah, what did I say?
Pipe work. Yeah,
we've got a couple in the pipe work. A little 2v2.
2v2.
And maybe some more exclusive golf courses. But yeah, I don't know if anyone watches them. The comments on them tend to be pretty good. So, pet peeves. Kick things off.
Yeah.
Do you have
I've only got one.
Okay, I've got 2.
Alright, do you want to go first?
I'll go one and then you go one.
Alright. Okay.
Now I'm guilty of this, right? I do agree, I do it. Does it annoy me? Yes, it does annoy me. And I don't understand the reasoning. But people who wait around baggage reclaim.
Yeah.
Right? Because it goes round. But you get people that fucking wrestle their way to the front, so they are the closest to it, blocking everyone else from doing it.
Your bag's only coming when your bag's coming. If people move out your way, if you just say excuse me, just pick your bag up. So
no, I know, but why wait around it? You can.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is it's stupid because when you see your bag, when you see your bag, like if you just say excuse me, I'm just need to get my bag. People move out your way anyway, so there's actually no point. It doesn't come any quicker the further you are.
Yeah.
But it's just whoever's bag comes off the flight first comes off the flight first, which generally is the last bag on the flight.
So yeah, that was one of mine. You got another one?
Yeah, my pet peeve is like, so we go to this little place, I'm not going to name it because I wouldn't do them like that because 99 times out of 100 are good, but and I get like this yogurt bowl with fruit and granola and honey on it, and by no means it's not cheap, right? It's like £7 or something for a yogurt bowl with some berries in it. The other day we went and I'm like, oh, can I get a yogurt bowl, granola, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and loads of honey? So that's fine. So I went and sat down. Alistair was with me, so he went and picked it up for me. Came back and he went, look at that. I swear, I shit you not, it was a yogurt bowl, like this dusting of granola in it. It had 1 strawberry cut up, 3 blueberries and 2 raspberries on it.
Yeah.
I was like, is that a joke? I just went right back up to the counter. I was like, go to put some fruit in that. I was like, fuck's sake. Like, I'm not paying £7. And so my pet peeve is people who work in shops that act like the stuff belongs to them.
They bought it personally.
So they don't want to give it away. I'm like, you're paying £7 for a yogurt bowl. Fill that fucker up with fruit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
Oh, it's like when you're in Subway and you're like, oh, can I get fucking Italian BMT or whatever you're going to get, and the guy puts on 2 slices of ham.
Yeah.
You're like, mate, get the ham on that. Like when you see the pictures of the Subway advertising, they're always like jam-packed full of ham. You go to the place and the guy's like that with 1 slice of ham on top of it. That's my pet.
The red onion in Subway as well deserves a shout out. How potent is that?
It's the strongest red onion in the world, isn't it?
Your breath stinks for 3 days.
I know.
And they only stack the back of the sandwich. Nothing. So when you actually get to the very back, it's just straight red onion.
And I've a bit of a rogue Subway order, to be honest, because I like my Subway microwaved.
Microwaved?
Yeah, I don't really like it toasted. Well, it used to be a thing you could get it microwaved or you can get it toasted. A lot of places now don't do the microwave thing.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, so I would get like ham and cheese microwaved so the cheese melts and the bread's hot, and then get the salad on it.
But you just get ham and cheese?
Yeah, just ham and cheese, and then like
you're going Subway,
loads of
ham and cheese anywhere.
I know, but then I get loads of different salad, and then I get like 2 different sauces.
Right, okay.
Salt and pepper, Italian, herbs and cheese.
Do you know my order for Subway?
Chicken and cheese?
Nah, Italian BMT. Obviously.
Meatball marinara.
Smoking a marijuana. My last pet peeve of the day is people who wear the weightlifting belts. For like 90% of people who wear the weightlifting belts aren't weightlifting.
Yeah.
They're also the sort of people
like
who...
the back support ones.
Yeah. They're also the sort of people that are leaving their weights on the...
Yeah, like gym etiquette in general is pretty bad.
Yeah, but it's especially...
You get that a lot. There's a pet peeve. I've got a fucking pet peeve about David Lloyd.
We've done this.
Have we?
I don't know, say it. That they wouldn't cancel your membership.
So, have we done this? Have we spoken about
we've
this?
done this. Yeah, we have.
Fuckers. On the podcast, honestly.
Yeah, we've done this.
So frustrating. But that's what I mean, gym etiquette in those gyms, right? So, like, people are standing, having a laugh, having a joke with their pals, oh, blah, blah, blah. He's standing beside the fucking chest press machine. The other guy's standing beside, like, they're crowding 3 machines at the one time. Like, no urgency whatsoever.
There's only one of those machines.
Get on the machine, get your workout done, and fuck off back to somewhere else, wherever you're going. Do you know what I mean? Like, just gym etiquette. You need to be moving quickly around. You know? I don't want to be sitting in that gym for an hour and 45 minutes to try and do one workout.
There's a guy that in the gym that I go to, and the guy does the shoulder press machine, but he only does the shoulder press machine.
Oh, you'd be
when
like,
you
how
see him
many
in there,
sets
you're
you
like,
got
I
left?
can't do shoulders today.
I know, mate. That's like a guy at the gym. I said to a guy the other day in the gym, how many sets you got left? He said 6. I went,
you've been on there for 45 minutes.
what do you mean 6, mate? 6 watts? 6, mate. I was like, right, wow.
Yeah, so the people who wear the belts to weightlift that don't do the weightlifting,
they should all that equipment should be for lifting heavy weights.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, if you're in the gym lifting heavy, then fair enough. Like, I'm on board with having some stuff like that to protect. But like, you've got like,
I was in the gym the other day and I saw 3 people with it, and I was like, this is ridiculous, because none of them are doing.
Do you know what's a pet peeve for me? See guys that do, like, we used to be a guy in Future that used to do it. You remember? He used to do like chest press, but on the
machine.
On what do you call that machine again? Smith machine.
Aye. On
the Smith machine, and he would have like 5 plates on each side.
He broke it, didn't he?
Smith machine. He was big, right? But then he would have like the elbow things on. Then he would have this thing that was like attached to his elbows, and it was like across his chest, so it was like kept his elbows in. So it like gave him like more strength to do it, and he'd be like, like no
he was bouncing
technique
off his belly. He was
like bouncing it off his chest, like, absolutely no technique whatsoever. Just like banging it up and down, like just pure ego lifting at its finest. And then he actually broke the machine,
and then we got the blame for
it. But I think they told him not to come back.
Good. Well, we jumped on the machine after, and it was.
That's you.
It was in my hand, wasn't it? We were just warming up. It came off the railing.
Mental. Like I don't see that whole ego lifting thing. Don't get it.
Right, we'll move on. We did a TikTok about it. We didn't yet post it. It was either today or yesterday. But currently doing a deal which we've spoken about on the podcast, 6701 titanium. But what you were talking about yesterday on the TikTok was very good and of value, and I don't think people really realise that is a problem that may occur.
Yeah, we can actually talk a little bit about what I put on my story as well, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so we provisionally drafted a TikTok yesterday. We didn't post it, but it was just more about to give a bit of an insight into what goes on a daily basis. Now, like any business that stocks any sort of goods, whether that be cars, whether it be designer stuff, whether it's luxury watches, whatever, you only have so much working capital to use at any one time.
Yeah.
So the point of having that working capital is to try and maximize it at all stages. At all points you try and maximize it. Now in the watch business that can be tricky, because you can buy stuff and you can hold stuff sometimes for a year. Like for example, we had a Cartier cloche in recently, only 100 pieces. We knew it wasn't going to sell in 3 months.
Yeah.
It was going to be a long-term thing. Now that tied up nearly £30,000 worth of money, which is fine, and we sold it last week, so it's good to get out of that. But the point I'm trying to make is that you're trying to maximize your capital at all points. So then sometimes what can happen is there's so much stuff going on all the time that you can be found, or you can get caught short and not have the working capital to go and buy a watch to make a deal happen. So then, especially when, so for example, talking specifically about the 6701, the client had a couple of watches to trade in, so which means that they were big heavy pieces. So he's traded in a 4300V Vacheron, which is the extra thin perpetual calendar rose gold with a blue dial, which I'm honestly buzzing to get in. In terms of value for that watch, the watch retail price is over £100,000. We're selling that for like 40% under list.
Yeah. Like
incredible value, and arguably the nicest blue dial made by any watch manufacturer. So I'm really excited to get that, and I think it'll be amazing. Comes in a rose gold strap, it's got a white rubber, it's got a blue rubber, it's got a brown leather. So really cool, and he's got a white gold Oyster Flex Daytona meteorite dial. So again, 2 heavy pieces, which means that when we're going to buy that watch, that 6701, we're effectively having to stock that watch first of all, which is how the watch business works. Sell that to him, but then also stock his watches on the way back, which means that, you know, all in all, it's about 120 grand's worth of liquid capital you need to have free to use. And we've also got other stock as well. You know, like,
usually you're pretty good at managing that, because...
And that's probably where I would say my side of the business is managing the capital, making sure that we've got enough deployable that we can use if a good deal comes across our desk, and also making sure that we've got enough stock available so that when customers come through and they want to buy something, they can look and see certain things. So we've just stocked to the eyeballs at the minute. We've got two 5168Gs, we've got a Rose Oyster Flex Meteorite, got a 5167, we've got
two olive day dates,
a couple of olive dates. We've just got loads of stuff busting at the seams at the moment.
Daytonas.
Oh, Beach Daytona, Sacco Daytona, Steel Daytona, like date just everywhere. Like there's just loads and loads and loads of stuff that we have just now. Root beer obviously again.
But this is it, we get the pipeline and like you kind of can gauge what big stuff's coming in, so when you see that you kind of just free up. But then when we've been facilitating all of those, you're then like, right, okay, I can buy these watches that are coming to us at such a good range, might be worth stocking. So we stock it thinking that all the big pieces are done, and then all of a sudden fucking this one lands.
Yeah, and that's sometimes just how it is, and that's the stress of being a watch dealer, because now you've got a customer who wants his watch on that day. You've agreed a price, you've sent him the invoice, he's paid his little chunk on top that he had to pay to get into his watch, and now he's wanting to get the deal done.
Yeah.
And
which is fair.
Completely fair, because that's how it is, and that's where managing the business really comes into it. That's where being able to manage the flow of the money around the business and making sure that you've always got a little bit extra to use if deals like this come across. Now, by a little bit extra, I don't mean 120 grand lying about doing nothing, because then you wouldn't be maximising the amount of money you could be earning from the capital that you've got. So it's a fine balance trying to make sure that you've got enough stuff so that you can sell, because you can't sell what you don't have, but then also enough capital there to use so that if and when a big deal comes across your desk, like a 6702, like a 6701, like a 5740, like any of those deals, that you're in a liquid enough position to be able to go and take advantage of it and buy it and sell it. And that's just how it is. So that's probably the most difficult part of the business, because everybody looks at it and sees you selling these big amazing watches, and you know, they're 200 grand, 150 grand, 180 grand, like whatever the watches are, and just automatically assumes that you've got 5 million quid to use in a bank account, and it's far from it. You know, I started this business nearly 12 years ago with like 7 grand.
Yeah.
And you know, now we're in a position where we can facilitate buying these things and have a good amount of stock and XYZ. But the thing about selling these bigger pieces is the more you sell, the more inquiries you get for them. So then all of a sudden, you can then have all of your working capital swallowed up in 3 deals.
Yeah.
And then but you've also have to have some stock, because you can't have an empty safe.
Yeah.
Because what's the point? So that's a difficult thing to manage.
Yeah. So
and I think that's probably that's probably what I deal with the most in the business right now. It's not so much the front end stuff, like dealing with customers and, you know, doing the academy stuff, and, you know, getting back to people who are interested in the academy, and also getting back to students that are doing the academy, and all of that stuff is probably more you, but asking me for like the get-go or the advice, or what should we do with this, what should we do with that, are we interested in buying this, are we not interested in buying this, blah blah blah, whatever. All that stuff's kind of managed by you, data collection stuff, but all the other stuff, like the buying the pieces, the sourcing the pieces, selling the pieces, generally is all down to me. So that's probably the most difficult part of the business, is being able to manage your capital effectively so that you can maximize the use of it, and also have enough on the side so that you can make big deals happen.
Yeah, but I thought it was important to address, because again, a lot of people would assume that you've got 5 million quid in the bank.
And mate, it's difficult to get that across on a short form video like a TikTok, because most people watch them for 5-6 seconds. If they're not that interested, they just click off it. So
the podcast is a good place to talk about it.
It's a good place to vent these issues.
I didn't want to put it in the pet peeves, because I feel like we could do a whole topic about it, but we're going to talk about the etiquette of maybe when a client, so I agree that they are, you know, the customer, and it should be us showing the correct respect and stuff, but again, I think that they also need to come correct, right? So there's certain etiquette I think that the customer or the client need to follow as well.
Are you talking about the deal about the day?
Yeah, that's what kind of stemmed this.
Okay, so yeah, I don't think it's intentional from customers, to be completely honest with you, but I do it is so helpful if you're just upfront and honest about
and just say, you know, lay it all out.
What you're trying to do. Now, this guy came across, he was looking for something quite specific, day-date, vintage style, wanted it from a specific kind of time period and had a specific budget in mind for it. So we go and we find him a really clean example. He's like, I'm looking for this, here's when I need it for. Fine, we go and find him a really clean example. You know, it takes us a week to find something really nice that fits his budget and we're comfortable selling. We want to make sure that the watch has been serviced, the watch has been looked after, it's not it's not got any crap going on with it that we're going to then have that come back to us whenever he goes in the water with it and it's not watertight or whatever. So then we get to the point, yeah, that's fine. And then right at the very last minute, he's like, oh, I've got this trade in. Basically, if you don't want the trade in, then we're not interested in doing the deal. Now, I'm like, we've done a lot of work to get to this point. Now, granted, it's not a massive amount of work, and that's just part of how the business goes, but there is a fair amount of work that goes into trying to find something like that,
something so specific.
Especially right at this moment in time, because I'm finding really a lot of stuff in the UK is really difficult to find just now, especially stuff like vintagey stuff or, you know, big hard to get pieces that they're hard to find. And then he was like, oh well, if you don't want my trade in, then I don't want it. And I'm like, well, mate, like, you could have said that to us at the start, or listen, we've got this trade in, and what I would have done was then tried to sell that trade in for you for the exact same amount that you wanted for it to maybe someone else in my network might have been interested in it. So then I could have sold that for you, and then we could have potentially got the deal done forward that. But the point where I'm asking the dealer's phoning me back, are you interested in this watch? And then now I've got a trade in to sell, and the dealer sold the watch, and it was just like, it's just not going to work. So the best thing to do in best practice would be just to say, look, I've got a trade in, what do you think's the best way of doing this? If you're not interested in it, could you sell it for me, and blah blah blah. And listen, we don't mind selling something for cost price, because we're making money off the back end when you're buying the watch anyway. So yeah, I think it's good just to be upfront and honest, because then we can plan things in the correct way and move things forward.
But we always typically now ask the correct questions when we do get an inquiry. It's like, one of the first things is, where are you located? Because you're doing all that work for something that realistically isn't going to be possible. And they go, oh yeah, I can collect from the London office. Go, great. Because shipping to Papua New Guinea is going to be mission impossible. And then you find the watch for them and they go, oh, it's okay, I've either found another one, or I can't get to London.
And we get so many inquiries now that are outside the UK.
Yeah, a big percentage.
Tons inquiries, especially in Europe,
50-50, maybe even more.
Yeah, especially in the US, loads of inquiries from there. Like, seem to be some of our reels just really hit cross borders, and we get loads and loads of inquiries from international clients now, which is really nice, because we do lots of travelling, so sometimes it can tie in with like me being in Spain, or you being in France, or being in Germany, or being in Monaco for the Formula 1 or whatever. You can always tie in with people eventually, but yeah, that's good.
And then etiquette for watch dealers, is there anything that really comes out, or not really?
The watch dealing world works in a bit of a your word, your bond, handshake kind of way. Otherwise, if the watch dealing world wouldn't work if it didn't. And I'll give you an example, right? So if you phone me up and say, hi mate, I'm looking for a 5167, do you have one? And I'll say, oh, like, yeah, I've got one, blah blah blah. They'll go, all right, okay, yeah, how much is it? Blah, it's 43 grand, whatever, blah blah blah. All right, okay. Can I go? I'm going to go and send it to my client. I'll see if he comes back to me, let you know what he says. So that's fine. Then the guy phones you back half an hour later. He says, right, okay, mate, that's that done. I'll take it. As soon as a watch dealer says that's it done, it's finished. It's their watch. Yeah. Now the etiquette within the watch dealing industry is he says that, he has to buy it. Yeah. Doesn't matter if his client pulls the deal. Doesn't matter if his wife tells him that he needs to go and buy a new kitchen and he doesn't have the money for it. Irrelevant. He needs to buy it, because if that wasn't the rule, then you would have people cancelling stuff all the time. Yeah. And if that guy's bought that watch from me and he said done, he doesn't come and pick it up straight away. He might take 3 or 4 days for him to come and pick it up. And in those 3 or 4 days, I might get an inquiry through for a retail client that might say, oh mate, hi, have you got this? And I need to say, sorry mate, I've sold it. Then I've sold the watch, the guy goes and finds another watch, then the guy I've sold it to comes back to me and tells me, oh no, sorry, I don't want it anymore. And then I've lost out on that client and lost out on the trade sale, and I'm just back in position 1 after 4 days of waiting around. So yeah, watch dealer etiquette is, if you say something's done, then you have to buy it regardless. If whatever happens, it doesn't matter.
And how often is that happening?
It happens, for sure. What a lot of people do in the watch industry, and people are guilty of doing, and you hear lots of horror stories about it, is the watch industry's a very trusting industry, and without trust it really wouldn't work. So I'll give a guy a watch, could be £50,000 watch, he might say, look mate, I don't have the money today, can you wait until Friday for it? Now I only do that with certain people, and I mean like maybe 3 or 4 people that I could count on that I would give stuff to and wait on payment, because I know they're good for it. But what a lot of people do, and what a lot of dealers do, is they use that to their advantage. So what they'll do is they'll say, oh yeah mate, can I wait until Friday, because they don't have the money to stock the watch and they want their client to pay them first. So what they'll do is they'll get the watch on Monday, they'll go to the client, they'll deliver the watch on Wednesday, then they've got 2 days until it's Friday till they need to pay the guy back for the watch. Then they might have another couple of deals that they can do in between with that money. Then all of a sudden one of the watches that they buy, you know, doesn't sell because the client pulls out, and then all of a sudden they've only got half the money to give the guy on Friday, and half the money could be as much as 50 grand, 30 grand, 20 grand, whatever it is. So then what they're doing is they're using someone else's money inappropriately to do other deals that they shouldn't be doing, when that was never the agreement in the first place. So that happens quite a lot. A lot of people take advantage of other dealers by using, you know, their money to do other deals. We can maybe talk a little bit about what I put on my story last night. So I put
I've got that written down in there.
Quite I see last night a guy who's like a fitness influencer guy on TikTok, and he's like, oh, I made my first million, I'm going to teach you guys how to do it, sign up to my, you know, my blueprint on how to make your first million. And it was like CrossFit coaching, fitness thing, whatever. Now I'm not saying that it's impossible to make £1 million from coaching people online, because it's definitely not. Plenty of people have done, but I know for a fact
he's done that.
There's no way he's done it. He had about 200 followers, right? So I'm thinking, this massive guy who's made £1 million off his clients for like 200 people that follow him, no chance. So anyway, he said, oh, I've made my first million. So which got me thinking, what does the general public define as made my first million? So I was curious about what they thought that meant. So I put a vote on my story last night, on my personal story, and if anybody doesn't follow me and you want to follow me, then my handle is @WilliamReid. You'll see it, it'll come up. So I put a vote on my story, and they had 4 options. Option A was, so basically it was a definition of what do you think made my first million means? What does made my first million mean to you? And there was 4 options. Number 1 was your turnover's greater than £1 million. Option 2 was you've had greater than £1 million worth of sales. Option 3 was your gross profit is greater than £1 million, so that's your pre-tax profit. And option 4 was your net profit is greater than £1 million,
which is what I would consider,
which is your post-tax profit.
Yeah, that's what I would consider as making.
And 61%, over 500 people voted, by the way, which is incredible. I thought, like, incredible turnout for a vote for only like maybe 3,000 people seeing it. Over 60% agreed with the net profit greater than £1 million. 16% voted gross profit greater than £1 million. 10% for more than £1 million worth of sales, and 12% for turnover greater than £1 million. So really interesting for me. If you're saying I've made my first million, it's net profit greater than £1 million. It has to be. Because you could have, it's like a restaurant, right? Restaurants work in a really small percentage margin. You could have 10 million in sales of food and drink, and your margin's 7-8% of that. You know, all of a sudden 10 million's like 800 grand or whatever. Like, your actual how much money you've made is not, you can't just give a turnover figure or give a, you know, gross sales figure to define how much money you've made. So it got me thinking about, obviously we do the academy and stuff now, and when we initially signed up the first marketing business to the academy, they were really pushing for me to do that chauvinistic, you know, here's how much money we made this month, here's how much money we made on this deal, here's, you know, how many watches were sold this week, here's what our turnover is for the month, here's this, here's that, which without a doubt would grab people's attention and would be the best clickbait in the world for the academy. But it's just not, that's not the kind of person I am.
That's not how you want to come across.
It's not how I want to come across, and it also gives the wrong connotations for the academy as well. So the academy is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a do this and you'll be rich in 6 months. It's a genuine attempt at education and giving people the potential to have a possible career in this business. Now, it's not just a thrown together mishmash of, you know, 10 crappy modules. It's 60,000 words long.
Yeah,
it's, you know,
juicy.
put on a platform that has, you know, a PDF download and a matching video that you can read along and watch along with. It's got quizzes on the platform. It makes sure that you're taking the stuff in before you can progress to the next module. And it cost us an absolute fortune to get it to that point.
Yeah.
So for me to go and just disrespect myself by putting out this clickbaity, get rich quick, chauvinistic style content just to get people to sign up to the academy, like, I believe in the product enough that I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And I feel like, let your work do the talking rather than allowing yourself to come across like you're trying to make people sign up to something. Like, the reality stands true when people say, well, why would you teach someone else how to do it if you're earning so much money doing it? Which I kind of understand, but it's a big enough market for everyone to be able to survive and make money.
A lot of mouths to feed.
So, and there's lots of different offshoots in that market. You know, people might not follow me from Lincoln. People might not follow me from Lytham. People might not follow me from, you know, Birmingham. People might not. So there's loads of opportunity where you can, you know, in your own city, in your own town, you know, become the kind of go-to guy that...
Everyone's got their own network, yeah.
Exactly. So there's enough out there, there's enough people out there, and as you start to grow and get bigger, and your Instagram starts to get bigger, and your social media stuff starts to grow, you can start to sell stuff all over the world. So it's... People are quite narrow-minded and feel like, oh, why would you do that? If you're earning so much money doing it on your own, why would you let anyone else do it? And it's not that. It's the fact that we had so many young people come to us all the time. I mean, how many messages were we getting every single week?
Yeah.
How do we start buying and selling watches? Really interesting to buy and selling watches. Do you do a mentorship program? Do you do this? Do you do that? And we really thought about it for a long time. And it took me 6 months to write that course. It's 6 months typing it out in Word, you know, refining it, getting to the point, and then we had it, you know, typed up and everything else. It was loads and loads of work. And for me to then go ahead and just create that clickbaity style content that's going to get eyes on the product, absolutely, but does it disrespect the amount of work that you've put in to get it to that point? In my head it does, and it's not me. That style of stuff isn't me. I've never been a buy this watch and it'll make you 20% in the next 6 months. That's not what I've ever done. So we're in what I was kind of trying to explain on my story was that we're in kind of a bit of a rock and a hard place. Like, do we do that to just get the academy, you know, have thousands of people join it, or do we just stick our guns and let it stand the test of time and believe in the product, and, you know, make sure that we are refining the product as we go on, and make sure that people are getting the best experience they can? And we had a guy sign up today to the academy who, you know, gave us a call last week. He was on the phone to me for 25 minutes. He was asked loads of questions. We sent him over a full module breakdown of what's in the modules. Here's what you can learn. Here's what the sort of timescales you're expected to achieve in terms of how long is it going to take you to get through the academy. What's the protocol after the academy? Can I ask you questions? There's, you know, weekly calls. There's all of that sort of stuff in there. That's not just a bullshit attempt at trying to earn some extra money from what I do for a living. Like, so it's a genuine attempt to educate and give people an opportunity to make some more money for themselves. And whether that's, you know, a 65-year-old guy who's retired and has got himself some money and wants to invest in himself and invest in a different career, whether it's a young student that's, you know, just left uni and is unsure about what he wants to do with life, or whether that's a, you know, middle-aged 30 to 40-year-old guy like one of us that's got a career already but just wants some extra income and has a genuine interest in watches. There's a massive demographic that it appeals to. So it's important to get that out there, because it would be really easy for us to put up clickbaity content. I mean, you know, the amount of RMs and Pateks we've sold this year so far, it would take 2 seconds. So, but that's just not the style that we want. So we kind of find it difficult to market, because the problem with marketing now is people want that quick dopamine hit. They want that quick fix. They want that, here's how you're going to earn 50 grand in 3 weeks. Like, that's the kind of content, and the average intelligence of a viewer of your content now is so low, because they don't want that. They don't want something that's going to cause them to have to exert any effort. So I feel like I've been talking for 10 minutes.
Yeah, you took quite a long time.
But I think
everything was good in that.
But I think it's important, because I do feel strongly about that. It's not something. It would be so easy for us to put up, oh, here, we bought this, we sold it for this, here's how much profit you can make. Sign up to the academy, I'm going to show you how to do that. The reality is there's a lot there's a lot of work it takes you before you get to that point, and I think it's important for people to know that it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a learn how to trade, and if you do it properly, there's lots of money at the other end.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, sorry, I was ranting on about that.
You were, but I enjoyed it. Anyway, moving on. If there was any job that you could do that has like good pay, you're not going to be super rich, you're not going to be super poor, you live a nice life. If there's any job you could do, and if it's in a certain place, you can add that into it, what would you do?
What if it was just like? I don't really understand. Like what?
So if it's a cool job, something you're passionate, it can't be like a professional sports player. We're ruling that out.
Okay. Well, I used to love product design.
Right.
So I've obviously, you know, my degree was in product design and mechanical engineering. So I always loved like designing products. And when I was at school, like they used to call me like teacher's pet and like product design. Like I loved drawing and designing stuff and creating like a solution to a problem, whether that be like a phone stand.
Yeah, but give me like, what are you?
So that's what I would like to be like.
What? Come on, give me something good.
No, like a product designer for like.
Like, simple.
Like I'd love to. I also love finance. When I was younger, I wanted to work in finance. And the first, actually funny story, my pal Matthew, you might watch this. He's in recruitment, and when I'd been doing this for kind of 3-4 years, I was probably in my early 20s, and I always had this passion for like finance. My favourite film is The Big Short, and if anybody's interested in finance and how the world goes round and the 2008 financial crash and all that sort of stuff, go and watch The Big Short. It will teach you so much about it. But those kind of I used to watch loads of finance documentaries. I used to be so interested in that sort of stuff.
That's
how nice is that Turbo GT? Yeah, gorgeous. I used to be so interested in all that kind of side of things. So I think if I didn't work in watches and didn't buy and sell watches, then I would love to work in like investment banking or private equity or something like that, or be a product designer for Formula 1 team or something.
Yeah. So mine was always shoe design, footwear design for like Nike in the Beaverton campus.
Yeah.
That's like my ultimate
Pretty
goal.
specific.
Pretty specific, but that's what I do. But if you could play any sport professionally, what would it be? See, I'd be Formula 1.
Yeah, you're not really playing that sport though, are you?
Nah, but it's a sportsman.
Yeah,
You'd win sportsman of the year.
Strictly, well, there's only 20 Formula 1 drivers.
Yeah.
So, in terms of concentration of money, I mean, look at Lando Norris. He's got cars coming out his years. He's about 18.
Yeah. 18.
The problem with Formula 1 is you need to be rich to get into it.
Well, Lewis Hamilton wasn't rich.
Yeah, he's an exception though.
Yeah, I do agree. He's the exception.
He's an outlier. I feel like Lando Norris's dad's worth like.
And the Strolls.
Multiple millions. You know, Lance Stroll's a terrible driver. He shouldn't even be on the grid. But
his daddy.
Lots of like Carlos Sainz's parents have got money. Like it's an expensive sport to do because the go-karts cost a lot of money. The maintenance costs a lot of money. Then you need to get sponsors for Formula 3, sponsors for Formula 2. You need to get sponsorship that whole time.
Yeah.
And if you can't get the sponsorship, then it's down to your parents to fund it.
But what sport? Golf or Formula 1?
I mean, Formula 1's the one you would choose because you get half the year off.
Yeah, it's true.
And you get to live in Monaco, and you've got more money than the Pope.
Yeah.
But if Formula 1 wasn't an option, then I would be a golfer, but only be a half decent golfer.
I learned the Pope died with like €5 in his bank account.
Yeah.
Because it's something, he can't accept money or something, so he literally died with €5 in his bank account. But this is good. We'll break onto the Formula 1 stuff, and I do have a wee game for us to play, which you don't know, because I didn't want to ruin it earlier, because sometimes we do that and I tee you up and I go, I won't give you the answers, we're going to play this game, but you literally have no idea.
Yep,
right? So we're going to do blind ranking cars. Right?
Okay, yeah, let's go.
So there's 10 cars.
Yeah, I'm buzzing for this because I adore cars.
Yeah, I'm quite excited for this as well, and I took some time to decide what cars I wanted to do.
Okay.
So,
and we can clip this up as well.
Yeah, this is the plan. Number 1, Ferrari Puro Sangue. Where does that sit 1 to 10?
Naturally aspirated V12 4x4 perfect all-rounder. It's got to go in at number 6.
6? I thought that was going to go higher.
Number 6, yeah, because I'm assuming that you're going to give me some belters.
Maybe.
So
I won't give anything away.
But that car, is the perfect car.
Okay.
It's the perfect car. It does look a bit like a Mazda.
Yeah.
But all in all, driving experience, the power you've got behind the wheel, it's a 4x4, the usability of the car, its looks, Like, yeah, I absolutely love that car. We were out at Ferrari not that long ago.
We shot the RM6702.
We shot the 6702 in it was almost like a bloody purpley in the sun. It looked black, but in the sun it was more like deep purple
undertones to it.
There'll be a gorgeous Ferrari name for that, but I can't remember the name of it. And it had like a chocolatey interior, chocolate tan interior. My god, that was gorgeous.
Ferrari 812 Superfast.
812 Superfast. V12.
There might be honkers in this list. There might all be belters.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in a number 4.
Wow.
I'm assuming you're going to give me some real good stuff.
Who knows? Yeah. But that's one of your favourite cars.
Yeah, 812 Superfast is one of my favourite.
So going in at 4, I'm
assuming that you're going to give me 3 other ones that are going to be better than that. Well, I don't know. It's in at number 4 anyway.
Mercedes 250 SL Pagoda.
Oh, Pagoda. Actually, guy around the corner for us got one.
Yeah, really nice spec as well.
Beautiful.
He looks after it.
Really nice. Pagoda, timeless elegance, classic, beautiful car. One of them done up properly. His is blue with tan. Gorgeous. I wouldn't have a blue with tan. I would probably have a silver with tan with a blue roof.
Yeah. Could get on board with that.
Beautiful car. I'm going to put that in at number 3. Number 3.
Right. Pagoda locked in at number 3. G63 Mercedes.
Again, great car, perfect all-rounder.
I know how much you love that car.
Can't believe I would want to put the Purosangue before the G63, but yeah. I'm in a bit of a position where
I'm playing the game.
If you look at it in terms of value proposition, right, Purosangues are 400 grand. A good G-Wagon's 140, 150.
No, but it's just what you like.
Well, I actually sent you one last night, full Brabus kit on it. Guy was asking 145 grand for it, which I thought was fucking reasonable. And see, in terms of value for money, and in terms of making you feel good when you get in a car, and yeah, head turning, like, it's a cool car, I'm going to have to put it in at number 5.
Number 5, G63. Okay.
It's a good list, by the way.
Yeah, I was really thinking about it.
Good list.
Lamborghini Countach.
Ah, gorgeous car. I actually remade it recently.
We're talking about the vintage.
I think they're about $2 million. The remakes, I think they only made a few of them.
Yeah, I'm talking about the original.
Yeah, beautiful.
Original gangster car.
For me, it wasn't really my era.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to put that in at number 7.
7, okay.
Yeah.
Countach. Don't know how you spell Countach.
And from what I've listened to Carol Hartley, his podcast, saying it drives like a tin of beans. So
I can imagine it drives like a tin of beans. Porsche 918 Spider.
One of the Holy Trinity.
Some may say.
Do you know the Holy Trinity?
No.
No. LaFerrari.
LaFerrari
918 and the P1 is the original Holy.
I was going to have a LaFerrari on the list, but I thought that would just be fucking
Holy Trinity.
Stupid.
A 918 Spider, God, I mean, hybrid engine.
Do you know the numbers you've got to play with? 1, 2, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, it's got to be number 2. It's got to go in at number 2.
Yeah. 9.
No, I feel like you're going to give me a few crackers. I'm going to have to put them in.
Porsche 930 Turbo.
Obviously the bad boys car. For those of you who don't know,
you've got 1, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to input photos into all of these.
I mean, a 930 Turbo for me is beautiful. It's everything you need in a car. Everything. It's cool. Those who know. It's, you know, usability wise, you can drive it loads. Fuck. I can't put it number 1 because I don't know what's coming, so I'm going to have to go the lowest one after number 1, which is going to be what?
8.
8. Yeah. I need to think what. Yeah, I don't know. Am I thinking too much about it? I don't know.
No.
See how excited I am talking about cars.
Aston Martin DB5.
James Bond. Yeah, they've got one in the garage down the road.
Yeah.
200 grand.
If I won the lottery, I'd have it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't. You wouldn't be your first choice.
No, it wouldn't be my first choice.
Yeah, that's got to go in at 10.
A 10.
Yeah, it's got to go in at 10. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the famous James Bond movie that came up at the back and it had like the.
It's got the guns in the front.
And the armour slipped up at the back. Yeah.
Oh.
Beautiful car, don't get me wrong, but would it, out of all of them, out of all the ones so far you've given me, that would be last.
Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing.
Oh gorgeous, beautiful car.
Your options are 1 or 9.
You
might get a Mercedes B class coming up. So
the Gullwing, yeah, usability. Well, we're talking the hardtop, yeah. Gullwing, yeah, has to be.
It's actually,
but they make the same car with the doors, just the soft top. I can't, who's that famous model? Like middle-aged guy. David Gandy. He's got one, the soft top one. He's got some cool stuff. The Gullwing. What have I got in at number 2?
918 Spider.
Would I have yes, it's got to be number 1.
Securing Gullwing.
Gullwing's got to be number 1, just for the pure drama of that car.
So that means you think number 9 is a Ferrari 250 short wheel.
You cunt! That's my dream car. I kind of knew that you were going to do me bad like that, but 250 short wheelbase is just a dream.
I don't know. I thought you'd be smarter. I thought you'd know me.
No, but the Gullwing can't go in at 8 or 9. Like,
they're knocking the Ferrari 250.
I know, but they got. I don't know.
Good game. I like that.
Yeah, I like that game. The 250 short wheelbase is just my dream.
It's cool as well. We were looking at the analytics of the YouTube channel yesterday, actually. 0% females.
Yeah, no percent females, all percent males. So hopefully this
yeah, we can talk about cars.
This resonates with our audience. Yeah.
I apologise, actually. I have been itching my balls quite a lot in this podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the wide lens, you can actually see it. And I noticed a second ago, and I was like, why am I even doing that?
Anyway, most people like the 250 GTO, which is the super famous.
So if you could redo that number, if you could redo that list,
I'd have a 250 short wheelbase at the top.
Yeah, that would be your number 1 car, yeah. And then followed by a 918 Spider.
Nah, I'd have 250 short wheelbase, 300 Gullwing, 918 Spider, 930 Turbo, 812 super fast, purest angry, G-Wagon.
Countach, DB5.
I'd have the Countach at 10, DB5 at 9, and what's the last one?
You've been listing them all off in a crazy order. I don't know. Pagoda.
Yeah, I'd have the. Oh fuck, the Pagoda. I forgot about that. It's so hard. It's so hard.
That was a tailor-made list for you as well. Like I thought.
All of them have different applications.
Yeah.
So
that's what I tried to do. I tried to
if I live, it depends where I live. Like if I live in Monaco, then I'm having all the vintage stuff.
Yeah.
I'm having the vintage stuff 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I live in,
I don't know, you have a purest angry in Monaco.
No, not really. You just lost there. You want a vintage, that 300 Gullwing, mate. That's what you would want living there. Or 930 Turbo is always very, very cool. You would want that sort of stuff. I mean, wee windy roads, that 930 Turbo, small little car, tiny little wheel, like, and then also you 250 short wheelbase. You know, windows down, beautiful day, sunshades on, beautiful linen shirt on. You know, driving around Monaco. If only I had 150 million quid. You know what I mean? Anyway, that was a great section. Well done.
Good. I enjoyed.
I was going to say we could clip that up for TikTok, but it'll be about 10 minutes long.
I can see what I can do. Maybe not, but I'll have a look. And then we've got another list later on that I'll address that came out this week, which is actually the top 10 highest paid athletes of 2025.
Wow.
So we're going to come back to that. That came out this week. We're going to talk about the cars, sticking on the car theme. We're going to talk about the F1. Did you watch the Formula 1 in Monaco?
I did, yeah. Bit of a boring race. Yeah, whoever gets pole wins the race.
Yeah, it's always been like that.
I see a little bit of tension between Mercedes and Williams for not letting Jorge through.
Well, George just did what he wanted anyway, didn't he? Which then
I think they need to make Monaco a bit more overtake friendly, since the cars have got so big in the last 5 years.
But that's the thing. It's like they haven't really got the room to do it.
Well, that's what I mean. So like, the problem is that the streets are so narrow and the protective barriers and everything else. If you've ever been to Monaco, you really realise that it's a fucking tight circuit, and the chances for crashes and overtakes are very, very high. But the cars are so big now that it's even more difficult for them to overtake, and I think they need to make it a little bit more exciting. It's almost nailed on the person that gets pole. Unless they crash into the wall, they're going to win.
Yeah, so, unless there's a crazy red flag, because now they've brought out the rule, which is the 2 pit stop rule, which I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest. It does make it more.
How many more flashes do you want, my friend? I've flashed you 5 times there.
My friend. Oh, lovely friend.
Anyway. Yeah, no, I agree. I think they need to make it a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, it makes you think about it a wee bit more.
The race in Monaco it's not what Monaco's about.
No, it's not at all.
Absolutely. The Monaco Formula 1 is about who's got the biggest balls.
No, actually, I think if you have the biggest wallet, the tiniest balls, you
that
still
translates to the biggest balls. I think.
No, because I think the
it's
people that
about
have big
who's got
wallets
the
have
cojones
small balls.
over there, the biggest boats, the coolest parties, the most exclusive access. You know, who's flying into Jimmy's on their helicopter from their boat, and
Bezos look like a don.
that's the sort of stuff that a lot of Monaco clientele go to watch that race, to go and do all the parties and everything else that goes with it, which is, by the way, frankly unbelievable. But the race in Monaco is the most iconic one.
Yeah, I agree. If I was ever going to do one, that's
super interesting. Do you want to know a fun fact?
Sure.
You know, the winner of the Monaco race goes for dinner or lunch with Prince Albert.
Does he get Prince Albert whilst?
No. And I've actually met Prince Albert.
We've said this on the pod.
And I left in the Hotel de Paris to last year. Was that last year or the year before? Year before last year.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
There was something I was going to say. You threw me off on that one.
Sorry, let me just say, I fucking love Monaco.
Yeah, you do.
One of the most incredible places I've ever been in my entire life.
What I was going to say is the most impressive thing I think I've ever seen in Formula 1 is Lando Norris's fastest lap during qualifying. If you've not seen it, you've got to go back and watch it. It is
like the POV.
So impressive. Yeah, the POV.
Yeah. Mental.
Oh, that's a wee shame. That's not me. But it's also that light to dark thing. Like, you go out the tunnel, you cannot see anything, and that is actually what they see. They can't see anything. They just all muscle memory.
You need to bear in mind that they need to be fully focused and fully alert for all those 59 laps.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's
like if there's a crash around the next corner and then they're coming around, they've got
they need to have that. Like, they need to be super alert. And obviously they do the sim training and everything else, but there's nothing quite as intense as being in that car and driving in that, and actually physically having you've got no consequence in a sim. Yeah,
no, I agree. It's highly impressive. On that, should we talk about some watches that were on it?
Sure, Lando had a nice one on.
Well, I'll go through my list.
7201.
And you can tell me, you haven't got a blind rank.
White ceramic 7201. Lando's was nice. On a white strap. Obnoxious, but nice.
So I've done my list, and first one up is Kylian Mbappe, because my Siri autocorrects obviously doesn't like Kylian, so it's Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, he's some crappy Hublot rainbow on or something.
Hublot Big Bang Unico Rainbow Gem Set, which retails at 72,500, which is like a real B-Tech Daytona. But
wouldn't give you 10 grand for that.
No, but I'm guessing he's obviously sponsored.
Yeah, he gets it for free.
Hublot, so he's not really caring.
He'll get it for free.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what are you ranking that?
1.
Awful.
Awful, yeah.
Yeah. Patrick Dempsey, which I think if you do go to Monaco,
huge affiliation with Red Bull.
I think if you do go to Monaco, this is probably a watch you probably should wear. The Tag Heuer Monaco chronograph collaboration with Gulf Oil, which retails at $9,550.
Yeah, not up there for me.
No.
But he'll be sponsored and probably asked to wear that watch if Red Bull and Tag are very much intertwined. And obviously Tag do a lot of work with Gulf Oil, and Gulf Oil are famous in the racing, not for just being this humongous oil company, but
for the liveries and
the Gulf liveries and sponsoring Formula 1 and everything else. So
yeah,
cool. He'll be asked to wear that.
Yeah. Pierre Gasly had a Mosa Streamliner cylindrical tourbillon Alpine edition, which is £98,000.
Not for me.
No, I agree. Not a fan of that. Mark Cavendish, who I believe is a cycler.
Yep, he did an RM on surely.
RM 6501, which is like the blue and the orange, super cool. That retails at
he's got some really cool stuff. He's sponsored by RM.
Yeah, you should be with that thing.
He's got some really cool stuff. His house got robbed not that long ago. They stole loads of his stuff.
No,
a couple of years ago. Yeah.
It would have been a gold mine.
King. I think they were in when it happened.
That is peak, isn't it? That's like my worst fear. The King, Sir Jackie Stewart, Le Mans Daytona, yellow gold.
Yeah,
absolute go. I love Jackie Stewart.
It's his watch, and like that's exactly what you would pick for him to be wearing.
Yeah, you give him a watch. That's the watch.
Either that or a Date.
Yeah,
be the two watches.
Lando Norris, he had a RM 7201, the white ceramic.
Beautiful. I see Charles Leclerc. RM have brought out him in a red and white ceramic version of the 7201, which I really don't like. The Lando one's really cool. It's got like white ceramic and rose gold at the sides.
Yeah. I don't know if we can actually say this, we might have to edit this out, but you do know a lady who is very friendly with the RM family, and she says that Lando loses his RMs quite regularly.
Yeah, loses them quite a lot. Or he has lost a few in the past, so they've had to replace them for him. Obviously there's a few funny stories. There's a story about is it Carlos Sainz chasing after a guy that stole his RM, or Charles Leclerc or something like that, I can't remember. But obviously some of the RMs that they wear are like 1 of 5 or 1 of 10, or super limited edition. So super hard. You would never be able to buy that watch. No. 5 times the retail price. But yeah, they wear the 67s, don't they, racing? Yeah. Because they're super light. But the 72 was cool.
Yeah, 72. Then you got Bernard Arnault, who's obviously owns LVMH, one of the richest geezers in the planet. He had a Louis Vuitton Tambour, which is at £18,900.
Why he didn't wear his 5740 Tiffany dial is beyond me. The 1 of 1. Yeah. That's what you would have on.
I mean, I suppose he's Louis Vuitton is the main race sponsor. That's probably what I think was the.
You need to remember, it's all brand awareness at these big things. Yeah. They know that those famous
They're so
people,
rich, they don't really care.
They know that those famous people are going to get photographed wearing. People are going to be wondering what they're wearing. Yeah. That's just free brand awareness.
Yep, I agree.
The richest man in the world's wearing an LV watch. Does that make it cool? Still doesn't make it cool.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway.
Antoine Dupont, who had a
former famous French rugby player.
Sure.
Fantastic rugby player, actually. Probably the best rugby player in the world at the moment.
Well, there you go. He had an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Concept Flying Tourbillon, which has the retail price of $245,000. Nice. Yeah, he had Valtteri Bottas, and I hate IWC. He had an IWC Big Pilot.
Again, he'll be sponsored by them because he used to do Mercedes Petronas, and they're sponsored by IWC.
Yeah,
that's why Lewis Hamilton used to always have the IWCs on. George Russell now wears them. So
he had this was a Mojave Desert Edition.
Mojave.
Yeah, what you said. The GOAT, Zinedine Zidane, had a Rolex Datejust 41, which had a smooth bezel Jubilee bracelet, black dial.
Disappointing.
Yeah, he just doesn't care though, does he? He just doesn't care.
Disappointing.
Jess Hunt had a Cartier Panther Steel, the mini edition.
Nice. We sold a steel and gold one today.
Yeah, we did.
Steel and yellow gold. Great value. Retail price like $9,000. We sold that today for $4,500. So less, just about bang on half price there.
Great watch for a lady. One of my favourite watches for a lady to wear.
And we had the rose gold one that we sold actually a couple months ago.
Yeah, we spoke about that on the last pod as well, and how the lady
really cool
tore
watch.
me apart.
I'd have a yellow gold one for my own collection.
Jamar Musiala had a 5164 Aquanaut Travel Time.
Musiala?
Yeah.
Oh, Travel Time, nice. Your rose gold?
No, it was just the
stainless steel.
Steel, yeah. Simon Port, who owns Jacquemus, really cool. He had golden ellipse Patek reference 3954, like
very
vintage.
Nice. Did they have that on a leather strap?
Leather strap, yellow gold, super cool. And then to end it, we had Courtois, who had a Kerbadans Maximus 3R8 2-minute tourbillon with blue sapphire case, which is a 1 of 8 and lists for $275,000.
Off your head. Anyway, last time I was in Monaco, I wore the cloche.
Yeah, and you had the Sacco on.
I had the Sacco, the cloche, and the 15500 blue dial.
You were in a real fuck you mood.
I was, yeah. The Sacco got so much attention over there.
Which it would.
Unbelievable. Yeah. But the cloche I felt coolest wearing because I'm like, no one else is going to have this on.
Yeah, I do agree. Coolest watch in that list?
Lando Norris 7201 white ceramic was good.
See, I love Jackie Stewart's, the ones that don't have it.
That 7201 would be $400,000.
Yeah, but we're going to stick to the sport theme. So the gentleman who I know doesn't enjoy our sports, fast forward maybe 10 minutes and we'll come
but
back.
he'll skip the sports bit.
I want to rant. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing about the Champions League next season, or just the European competition in football, because we have 9 English teams in Europe. Now, I think that's great for...
Is it 9 or 6?
9.
9?
Yeah. in Europe competitions. That's
But you said Champions League, so it's 6 in the Champions League, isn't it?
Well, yes, so it's 6 in Champions League, but 9 overall. Now, I think that's great for the English sport, but that is so excessive. And actually, is it going to turn out to be like a fucking Premier League slog?
But has it moved away from what it says in the tin? Like, it's not the Champions League anymore, then, is it?
Well, no, I suppose, yeah, you're trying to get the best teams of...
Should be the best team from every country that plays in the Champions League.
Well, yeah, I agree, but then you get Tottenham winning the Europa League, which isn't the top competition. So yes, they are champions, but that doesn't... I don't think... Yeah, but they're not going to get past the first stage.
Tottenham will.
I don't think they get out of the groups.
Yeah, they will.
I honestly don't think they're going to get
Tottenham
out
are a good side. If they get the injuries back next season that they've had out this season, Tottenham got a good chance.
I'm not sure. We'll talk about Tottenham in a minute.
Think about the teams that were in the Champions League group stages this year. Celtic played and fucking...
They're out mints.
Like, some terrible teams in there, like, which Tottenham would get out of the group.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't think so. We'll see.
Do you want to make a bet on that?
Yeah, sure.
A bet right now?
20 quid.
I'll bet 100 quid Tottenham get out of the group.
Dude, this is what... It's no fun
50
doing
quid
it.
then.
No, it's no fun
You
doing
need to bet what makes you slightly uncomfortable. Otherwise, it's no point
Tiger Woods, calm down.
No, you do it. It wasn't Tiger Woods, it was Michael Jordan. Get your fucking facts right.
Who told you the story?
You.
Yeah.
That's not the point.
I bet you 20 quid.
That doesn't make you feel uncomfortable then. You don't really back what you're saying
then fine. I don't care.
But then you don't really back what you're saying.
Okay, I don't back it then.
No.
But you've got Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, Newcastle and Tottenham all playing in the Champions League. You've then got Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace won the fucking FA Cup. How that qualifies them to
By the way, well done. Congratulations to Crystal Palace for the FA Cup. They deserve it.
Yeah, they beat City, which I wanted Palace to. But how that qualifies to get into Euro? Imagine Woking, because any English team playing the FA Cup. Imagine Woking going to the fucking Europa League.
What about Pep not starting De Bruyne on his last game?
I know that is a bit.
And they just completely now alienated Jack Grealish.
Well, Jack Grealish is set to move to Man United through the grapevine.
Horrendous move. Jack Grealish, get yourself to Italy.
Yeah, that is actually a great
now, get yourself to Spain, get yourself to Italy, like get yourself away. You've earned your money now. What's he on, 15 million quid a year at
dumb shit,
at City? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Stay away from Man United. Get yourself out of the criticism of Man United because they are in a fucking bomb scare at the moment.
Yeah.
Away you go to Italy somewhere.
I actually think it'd be quite a good fit for Matt if he was staying in Premier League.
No. Man United were 16th this season, mate.
No, I know. 15th
or 16th this season. Why does he want to go from City to Man United?
No, he doesn't.
Exactly.
City want him out.
The point is,
he doesn't have a say in it.
Get yourself off to somewhere nice and hot, beautiful life for your family. You've earned your money now. No point in worrying about going. Go to a team where there's not much expectation.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
He thrived at Villa, and yeah, Villa are in the Europa.
Play him in the role that he fucking thrives in.
I think it's very hard. And bearing in mind, I hate Aston Villa. I think it was very harsh that they didn't get very fairly treated. Did you see that?
Yeah, I seen like a guy kick it out of the Man United goalie's hands.
He didn't have it in his hands. Yeah, VAR should have overturned it, but the ref blew the whistle before, so it doesn't go to VAR. I think it's bullshit. They really need to get VAR right, but that's a rant for another day. And conference, you got Nottingham Forest, which I'm thrilled that Nottingham Forest got through. But if Chelsea won the Europa and Newcastle obviously won the EFL. So if those teams didn't automatically qualify and they still gone to win the competition, they go through. So then we might have had 11 English teams in Europe. That is ridiculous.
Do you remember like it used to be Man United Chelsea every year?
Yeah.
For like 3 years in the bounce, they were like it was like Man United.
John
Chelsea,
Terry's, Drogba's, the Giggs, Carrick.
That was elite Champions League era.
Yeah, I agree. Henry and Ronaldo.
Now I feel like it's
lost its spark a little bit.
Yeah, lost a little bit.
I don't really feel like we have the superstars like
Spurs not get to Champions League final a few years ago.
Yeah, against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Got fucking papped out of that as well.
Like,
so
you want to see those battles, don't you? Like Italy, England, Spain, England, Germany, Italy. Like you want to see a proper game for the Champions League final.
Looking
forward to it, actually. Who do you think for the Champions League final?
PSG.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, I think PSG have got it. And maybe some may say I'm a Spurs hater. You're probably not wrong. I'm not the biggest fan of Spurs. Did I want them to win the Europa League final? I did not. But who would you rather have had a season? Would you rather be an Arsenal fan or a Tottenham fan this season?
Tottenham fan.
Honestly, I don't know if I could hack being
Why
17th.
are you not going to look back on this season and go like, oh, what a great season, we came second again?
Ah, but like, you're playing in the best league in the world. You're playing.
It doesn't matter. No, you're a fan. You're not a player. You've just won a European Championship.
But then I've got to go back into the.
Doesn't
we're going
matter.
to get dicked out of Europe, and we've just finished 17th.
Doesn't matter. You get Champions League football next year. Arsenal have won hee-haw.
Yep.
Quite frankly, if Tottenham fan, you've won something. You've been away. You've got those memories. You've done that with your family. You'll look back on that forever.
Yeah, maybe, but
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant if you've came 17th for the fucking time.
Okay, well that answers the
It
question.
doesn't make a difference.
Also, I just want to make an observation of myself, and no one's put this on social media, so maybe it is just myself and my observation. But Spurs literally look like they've never lifted a trophy. Son got the trophy.
Well, because they haven't, mate.
I know, right? But these are also like Son Ming Hun, whatever his name is. He grabbed the trophy, lifted it out, and it wasn't even central. He was like way off in the distance, lifted out celebrating. He then hits his head, and he's got a big bruise from where the trophy's hit him. He's obviously just not comfortable holding these big things. They just look like they've but Son's definitely not used to.
Did you hear that thing about Son getting blackmailed by the women? And
I did, yeah. I don't know if anything come of it.
Yeah, mental.
But I don't think Spurs get out of group stages. You do. Do you think they keep Ange?
I think now would be the perfect crescendo for him to leave.
I do too.
And I don't know. Depends how much he's enjoying himself or not. Depends on the relationship he's got with Daniel Levy. Depends on loads of things, where he's going to get back, whether he's going to get his injuries back. Now's the perfect time for him to leave.
Yeah.
But in saying that, he's quite. He's quite cocky and he does believe in himself. So would it surprise me? Yeah.
He hasn't shifted from being up here though. Like his press conferences, he can get away with saying the stuff up here because there's only two teams, and if he's just like, yeah, we love Celtic, we hate Rangers. Everyone's like, yeah, I agree. And then down in London, you do that, and everyone just goes, you're such a bellend. He's just not got accustomed to being in the top
It's
five.
really difficult. It's difficult to say. Do you think Arsenal keep Arteta?
Yeah, I think they do for another season, and hope it gets good. It can only get worse.
Do you think if he doesn't win anything next year, they sack him?
Yeah, I do. And I think the fans will just want that as well. But I think Ange, if he leaves, he's just won a trophy. I think there'll be loads of interest in him. I think people will be accepting of the fact, well, you've been at Tottenham Hotspur, we give you the benefit of the doubt about your league because it's Spurs, but you've just won a trophy. So I still think there's some elite teams that would take Ange in. So I think that's his perfect time to go. What I don't agree on is them calling themselves champions of Europe.
Yeah, nah, neither. And they can't say we won a European Cup either.
But shout out to Sunderland getting through to the Prem.
Yeah, what a bit of composure for that finish.
I mean, they've done that in
He's
the last...
19.
Yeah. He's already left the club as well. He's signed he's off after that game. I don't know, but he signed a contract. That was his last game.
What a finish, by the way.
What a way to sign off.
Composure, pass, inside the boot, right in at the bottom corner. Keeper's got no chance.
But I really wanted Sunderland to win, and I'm glad they did it. And they did it in incredible style. Rude ex Lake Como Football Club.
10 out of 10.
Great kit.
275 quid for the top.
275 euros, yeah. So
Men
250 quid. Which is crazy, but it is limited edition. I think they'd be quite hard to get.
Yeah, the home shirt's so cool. Blue, it's got the rood across the front. Really, really cool.
Yeah. No, was that bit? We flew through that bit really quickly. Dumbani, I want you to review Dumbani. For those of you who've maybe seen the YouTube that we've last done, shouts out to Steph for being able to. He wanted to be on the vlog, and he did a great job being on the vlog. Steph is actually a better golfer than what?
Yeah, he is actually good. Yeah, but he just had a bad day.
He had a bad day. But could you review the Dundonald? I'm falling a bit here now. Dumbani.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. I love that course. Very scoreable, not too difficult. you can really enjoy yourself. The views are amazing. The condition is 15 out of 10. The best condition course I've ever played, especially with it being in Scotland. In comparison to somewhere like Dundonald, it blows it out of the water.
Yeah.
The last time you played Dundonald, it was in terrible condition. Really bad. And that was only like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Me and Steph were about like 125 quid to play here. Greens like that, they were all mashed up. Tee boxes weren't great. No, it wasn't a good representation, but Dumbarton was excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I enjoyed just walking it. It really was phenomenal. TaylorMade is on the market. Is available
Up for sale. $4 billion.
3.5 billion.
Fancy it?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
This is exactly what a business should do. Do you understand what I mean by that?
No.
They are at the peak of their powers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is perfect timing. They sponsor the best golfers in the world. They have the best equipment.
Yeah.
They've got the best facilities. They are the #1 brand in golf at the moment. So it is
Prime
the
time.
perfect time for them to exit.
Right, and we're going to finish.
Business decision, that's all it is. It makes perfect sense.
I've actually got quite a lot here that we've not addressed, so we'll just park up somewhere and we'll just do the last bit, and then we'll save the rest for the next pod.
Sure, we'll just park up here.
Yeah. So the bit we'll round up of is I literally can't get my words out and I've been stopped aside. Only because I addressed it earlier, we'll do it. 2025 highest paid athletes. The list came out, so top 10 I've got here. How do you want to do this? Do you want to maybe guess a couple?
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So number 10 is a basketball player from America.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Could you guess his net worth?
His net worth, or what he got paid last year?
Well, I'm not quite sure what the list is based on.
The list will be based on their earnings last year.
In fact, yeah, it is.
112 million.
$101 million.
Okay.
Shohei
Ohtani, baseball player for the New York Yankees. He has deferred his wages for the next 20 odd years. Do you know that?
No.
So basically, rather than get paid for his contract over the 4 or 5 years or whatever his contract is, by the way, the highest paid sportsman ever, him, Shohei Ohtani, the highest contract ever in sports, I think.
He'll just get that
he's
paid.
deferred his payments over 20 years.
I like
so
that.
he'll get his payments for the next 20 odd years until he's like 40 odd.
Yeah.
Which is super smart because he doesn't need you don't need fucking 3 million quid a week.
Yeah.
Do you? So
I like that.
Shohei Ohtani, what's he, 110?
103.
Alright.
You've got a footballer at number 8. Now, the clue is he played at Real Madrid and he's now over at the
Karim
Saudi.
Benzema.
Yeah. Do you know this list?
No, I just know it was him.
That is impressive. And then his figure?
110?
104.
Alright.
Another baseball player from America.
Yeah, the guy that plays for the red team.
I thought it was blue.
Does he play for the Dodgers?
I don't know.
What's his name?
Juan Soto.
Oh, Juan Soto, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. 110?
114.
Right, okay.
This is where it starts to get juicy. Basketball player.
Steph Curry.
Nope.
LeBron.
Number 6.
130.
134 million.
Okay.
Footballer.
Lionel Messi.
Correct.
Wow, I'm fucking good at this.
Yeah,
quiz.
really good.
160.
137 million.
Okay.
NFL player. You surprised me that you knew the baseball players.
NFL player Patrick Mahomes.
No. I'd never heard of him, but I don't watch NFL.
Travis Kelce.
No.
Who's he play for?
Fuck knows.
I don't know. Tell me.
Dak Prescott.
Not a clue.
Yeah. 137 million
Jesus
is
Christ.
his figure. Boxer, number 3.
Tyson Fury.
Correct.
Yeah,
His figure?
big contract last year. 160 million.
147 million.
Christ.
This is all
almighty.
in US dollars. Right, top 2.
Am I going to guess? Got to guess?
Yeah, I think maybe guess. Go to. Guess number 2.
Tiger Woods got to be up there. No
Tiger Woods
Tiger.
isn't on the list, no.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano is on the list. He does fit in at number 1. But guess number 2. And then I'll give you the sport if you can't get it.
Formula 1.
Basketball.
Wow. Still basketball. And it's not Steph Curry.
It's Steph Curry.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
wow.
Figure?
200?
156 mil.
Jesus.
Ronaldo's figure?
Fuck knows.
275 million. But
Jesus Christ!
that's within the year of
275 million pounds a year.
It's crazy, isn't it?
What?
And I don't know if that's includes endorsement. It must be.
What even is that? Fucking 18 million quid a month.
Imagine being Cristiano Jr. You're sweet, bro.
Fuck me.
But that is the end of the pod because we actually need to go off.
Well, that was a really good pod. I enjoyed that.
Good, yeah. There was actually so much more that we could have done.
Yeah, we've been going for ages though. We don't want to make them too long. We'll just put it in the next pod.
Yeah, we'll save them.
Alright, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe.
Please do subscribe because
do all the usual stuff. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers. So if you could, we can start doing cool stuff at 1,000 subscribers because we get paid.
Yeah, because we want money, bitches. We
I
want
think
to
it's
buy
like
watches.
50 quid for every like
I think it's not
3 million views or whatever. But anyway,
I think there's a lot of people that are watching this that don't subscribe. So if you are one of those people, just hit the subscribe button.
And you get the notifications, and every time we post a video, you get to watch it.
And we do put a lot of effort into it. It might not look like it, but we do put quite a lot of effort into these.
Anyway, thanks guys.
Bye.